Let me know once my screen is up.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so when we yesterday we discussed about multiple things like one tier, two tier, three tier, and what is response time and what's the purpose of transaction points. And also we discussed the test plan as well. Before that, we discussed the NFR, which is the very first part in our performance testing lifecycle. Now we are moving to types of performance testing. Okay. So when we talk about the performance testing type, so here being a performance tester, like either our client is gonna to tell us like exactly what type of testing we need to conduct. If they are unable to do that, so it is like our responsibility to check and let them know exactly which type of testing is pretty much needed for that particular application. Okay, there are n number of like performance testings. So no matter what you are doing any test, so the very first test is like smoke. Smoke is also known as and like first smoke. Smoke test is also known as sanity as well. Okay, so if you want to define smoke test, so here we are just gonna to check each and everything is ready for the main run or not. So we will be checking the environment, the complete setup for the application test run is ready or not. Okay. So testing the application to check everything is good to go for main run. Okay. So here we will be checking that each and everything is ready or not. So when you talk about duration, so when we talk about the performance testing, by default, if it is a low test, by default, it will be 1 hour. But if it is either smoke or sanity, so we can perform like 5 to 10 minutes. That is fine. Because there we are simply checking everything is good for the main run or not. And suppose let's take we are going with load of 1,000 users. Let me write it over here. Scenario. Thousand users. So users can also be termed it as load. Okay. Some people called it as user count. V users. Okay. V users. Nothing. V for virtual users. Okay. So when we talk about the load, even if our main test is conducting for 1,000 users, but whenever we are performing smoke test, so we will be going ahead with around 10 load with a very minimal load just to check everything is good to go or not. Okay. That is the basic test. And moving to second. And second. Load test. So load test is, I mean, if you want to define the load test, that is same like what will be the definition for the performance testing. Here we are simply checking the application behavior with expected load. Okay. So objective. For each and every test, there will be one objective, right? So here the objective is to check everything is good to go or not. So for load test, testing the application behavior with expected peak load. Okay. So if you want to go with so-called 1,000 users, so how exactly your application is behaving? That is the objective of your load test. Okay. And when we talk about the duration, by default, the duration for load test is 1 hour. So you are going to perform with these many users with these many minutes, which is 1 hour. Okay, and the load you are going to hit the server with max and peak load. So our scenario, for example, we are dealing with 1,000 users. So for the same reason, I provided 1,000 users. Okay. And the next thing is endurance. So endurance is also known as soak. So if we are planning to go ahead with the endurance test in the sense, exactly our objective should be, let me copy and paste and I'll overwrite over here. So whereas in load test, you are hitting with peak load, whereas here testing the application behavior with average load, average load. Whereas here we are going with long hours duration, long hours duration. Okay, so when we say long hours, it will be like the standard is 8 hours. Okay, actually I'm just defining you with a standard values, but as per the requirement you can go ahead with e- either 6 hours or either 4 hours as well. So these three are applicable, either 6 or either 4 or either 8 hours. Okay, so if we are, suppose let's take, if we are dealing with Amazon application. Okay, if you want to go ahead with endurance test in the sense, you need to go ahead with the same test for 8 hours of duration, because if you are continuously running the test again and again for those many hours with the same particular load in the sense, it is gonna to there might be a chances of identifying the memory leak. Okay, if you keep on loading the application again and again for a very long duration, definitely there might be a chances of occurring memory leak. Okay, I'm going to help you what is exactly memory leak, like whenever we are discussing with this test. For now I am just defining what is what over here. So here, and to identify memory leak, in a simple way, if you want to understand what is memory leak, in a sense, suppose we are having a particular memory capability. If you are continuously loading with the data or continuously hitting the server again and again, definitely like there might be a chances of completely occupancy of that memory holder. So that's the reason we are calling it as memory leak. So here when we talk about the memory leak, here comes GC, which is nothing but garbage collector. Okay, don't get confused about these terminology. So just like the purpose of endurance test is to identify the memory leak. I can help you with this memory leak concept when we discuss about the GC, because it will take like another like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. And so actually the load will be average. So average in the sense, mostly we will go with 25% as per the standard value. But again, like here, like most probably in like these days, whenever even we are hitting with endurance test also, we will be going with actual load as per the project requirement. Even like I worked with the endurance for one of the project. So there our responsibility is to do load test and endurance test for each and every release. But as per the standard value, if I want to, like, if I'm hitting the server with 1000 load for the load test, I should go with only 25% of the load, which is 250, whenever I am performing the endurance test. But as there, like, as per the project requirement, I used 100% of load for both the load test and the endurance test. Exactly how much load we are hitting the server, that completely depends on the project requirement. So here I'm just helping you with the standard definition. So if you talk about the endurance, we need to go ahead with average load, which might be 25 to 50% of load, and with long hours of duration. So in interviews, they might ask you like exactly what is the standard duration for the endurance test. Then you need to provide 8 hours of duration. Okay. And moving to another test, which is stress test. Okay. So the name itself says like we are keep on stressing the server. It means like keep on stressing the server in the sense we are keep on adding the users again and again, again and again throughout the duration, test duration. So, like here exactly what you are identifying is our main objective is to identify the breakdown point. It means like exactly at which point our server is becoming unresponsive. It means you are not at all getting any values from the server because of the breakdown. The reason why we need to perform stress test in the sense, suppose let's take Amazon. If that is gonna to going ahead with any big billion sale, like anyhow as per the future expectations, we will be using one particular number for our execution. Even for that future application, I mean expectation, suppose let's take 1 lakh. So we need to go ahead beyond that number so that like if more and more users are coming and playing around that particular application, if there is any such breakdown, definitely whatever the sale they are like planning to run is of no use. So as for the future expectation also, we need to go ahead and check like exactly like these many users, Amazon is going to handle these many users. If you are going to like cross beyond that, anyhow we are going to see a server breakdown. So if you are testing in that way, what they'll do, the Amazon product owners is gonna to help with more and more server arrangement. So if they are arranging more such capacity, then definitely it is gonna to useful for the remaining users as well. Okay. So when you talk about the stress test objective testing the application to check the breakdown. Okay. So you can also define it like testing the application behavior by gradually increasing the load until server gets breakdown. It doesn't mean like if you are going with 1,000 users, it doesn't mean we will simply adding the users at the beginning. Okay, so I'll simply draw a diagram for that after this.
Sorry, small quick question, Amulya. So this
Yes.
stress test also part of the PT?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So when we talk about the stress test, again, it will be for 1 hour only. Okay. So here we will gradually increase the load. Suppose let's take, I'll just help you with the small diagram here.
Amulya, one question. See, stress test means it's like gradually you are saying increasing the load. See,
Yes.
obviously it will be like more than what you mentioned in the peak 1,000, right? So
Yes.
after 1,000, stress test is going to start, right? Or how it will?
No. Yeah. That's why I said like I'm going to help you with example. Okay. So here when we talk about the load, as per the requirement, we are going as per the note, it is 1,000. But when we talk about the stress test, actually here there will be a term called ramp up, duration and ramp down. Ramp up in the sense users will enter into the application. Like how much time they'll take in order to enter the application is called ramp up. Okay. How much duration they are planning to be in that particular application is called duration. So whenever the user is coming out of the application is called ramp down. Okay. Actually, if you want to design the load test also, like all the 1,000 users will enter into the application one by one as per the time interval. At this particular point, all the 1,000 users will be up and running. So all those 1000 users will make use of this 1 hour of duration. Okay. So if you take this particular time, this is called steady state. So this is the place where you can see all 1000 users. Okay, after like they are done with 1 hour of duration, all users will start coming down from the application, which is called ramp down. This is for normal run. Okay, basic load test. But this is for basic. But when you talk about the stress, so all the users, whatever the 1000 users, they will enter into the application and they will run for like around 30 minutes. Okay, and then we should add few more users. Let's take, if we are taking 1K here, let me show. So suppose let's take 1K here, 1000 for either 45 minutes or 1 hour of duration. That is totally depends on how we are designing. After 1K, we are not supposed to add more and more users whenever you are performing your stress test. So here you can simply go with either 50 or 100. Again 100. If you are seeing high responses at this particular point in the sense, you should reduce the load. Again, you can add 50 here and 50 more here. If you are seeing like breakdown in the sense like if our CPU reaches 100% or if our memory utilization reaches 100%, okay, and if your response times, whatever the response times we are talking, if that is like increasing continuously, then we can say like that is a breakdown. So you should keep on increasing the load gradually. It means like if you are going with 1K as per the load test, it doesn't mean like you need to add another 1K, another 1K, another 1K. So that is not the proper way. So gradual increase in the sense you should take at least 5 to 10% of the main load. So if you are seeing high response at the second attempt itself, then again you need to decrease the load and then you need to check the valid point.
So
Okay,
this
so
is
here,
not what, suppose you are doing for 1 hour test, okay,
mm-hmm,
and 30 minutes you ramp up 1000 users. Okay, again 15 minutes. We got to know that our response time is increasing or CPU reaches 100%. So that
mm-hmm.
time only we need to stop the test or
Yes,
what?
yes, we need to stop the test.
So it's in 45 minutes we need to stop the test, right?
It doesn't mean like so exactly the whatever the values, I mean whatever the duration you are defining over here, that completely depends on the requirement. So basically like we will be, so see here you can able to perform the entire test in 1 to 2 hours when you talk about the stress. So if needed, see, if needed, you can go with instead of 45, you can go with 1 hour of normal run. Okay. Instead of ramping down, so after 1 hour, go ahead with another 10% of load. And after 5 to 10 minutes, whatever the duration you are adding for again and again, so after 5 to 10 minutes, 1 second. After 5 minutes, you can add another load. You can run it for 5 to 10 minutes. That is totally fine. Okay, it doesn't mean like exactly you will be going with only 45 minutes for this the basic load and again only 5 minutes for the next gradual increase and again only 5 minutes for the next increase. There is no what I can say, there is no rule that we need to start the stress test within 1 hour. Okay, so if you want, what is the purpose of stress test? Exactly, you are going to define its breakdown point. Okay, it means You can go ahead and run for 1 hour for the basic, and you can, if you want, you can add 10 minutes for the again gradual increase.
Means Amulya, on question here.
Yes.
So, means what I understood, you are saying that it's means like stress peak and entire should be in 1 hour, right? And
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean like our stress test should complete within 1 hour. If needed, you can extend the same test execution to 2 hours as per the requirement. So there is nowhere written like stress test should be completed within 1 hour.
okay, my question is, it's a peak and stress and endurance can be combined in one scenario. Is it
No,
possible?
no. Because so in stress test, we are keep on gradually increasing the load. But
Mm.
when we talk about the normal load test, there is no need of that much load, right? Okay, you are gonna to start like you are gonna to stop each and everything as per the load requirement. If it is 1,000, then you are defining the scenario only for 1,000 users. Why you are gonna to like add more and more users? Because that is not the way, right?
Okay, scenarios will be, so I was saying,
Scenarios will be, yeah, if you want to go with 3 runs for load, I mean for a single project, either it might be load or stress, or if you want to do all the 3 tests like load, stress and endurance, definitely you need to design 3 scenarios and you need to perform 3 different runs. So you are not supposed to club all these runs in a
okay.
single run.
And one
Okay.
more question, how will come to know that the CPU is going to crash actually? Means it's almost
See,
reaching.
if it is almost reaching 100% in the sense, then definitely there is a breakdown.
Means like through high response time, any errors will
Yes,
display.
yes.
Okay.
Hits will be low and response time will be high. And if you are doing this, I mean, if the memory consumption is high in the sense, definitely there might be a chances of memory leakage. So there will be n number of times. So we need to keep on monitoring that as well. If that
Oh,
is already like deployed with any monitoring tool.
okay. Oh, in monitoring tool. So
Yes,
here just we will get only response time errors, right? As
yes, yes.
oh, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. And the another test is like we can call it
This
as
means
like
this
page
Hi.
stress
level.
test and endurance test you will show in practical as well, right?
Yes. This is, I mean, like if you want to run this for 8 hours in the sense, then definitely there is of no use.
No,
Like
no,
it's keep on
stress
running.
test just
Yes.
how
Oh,
to.
yes. I'm going to help you exactly with how you are going to design that. If it doesn't mean like I'm simply showing you the graph over here, so I'm going to help you with exactly how we are going to design that particular test as well.
Yeah,
Hi,
okay.
Amelia.
Yes.
In the stress test, you added ramp up as 1K initially.
It's not a ramp up. It's, I mean, users.
Okay, in the ramp up time, you have added like 1,000
1,000
users.
users as per the required,
Uh,
I mean, as per the
yeah,
scenario.
you
Mm-mm.
run that 1,000 users for 45 minutes, and again
Mm-mm.
you are adding the
Mm.
100 users,
Yes,
means 1,100 users
yes.
in the total. That
Mm-mm.
is only right.
Yes. So here it doesn't mean we should add only 45 users over here. Don't get confused. So I just mentioned for example. That's it. Okay.
And I think
No, this is not the standard value. I just like
okay.
when I'm like teaching, I just tell like as a sort of example. That's it. Okay. Don't get fixed to these values. So it's nothing but here we are going to gradually increasing the load in order to identify the breakdown point. That's the main objective of this test. Clear?
Yes, Amelia.
Okay. And the next test is page level, and here we can also call it as functionality test. Functionality in a LIT way. Okay. Functionality test. So here what we are going to do is like suppose let's take we are going to have only 15 minutes of sale in Amazon or else any loot sale that happened for 10 to let's take 15 minutes. In that particular 15 minutes, suppose let's take they said like loot sale is going to start like around 9 p.m. today and it is going to end by 9:15. So whenever they are going to have that particular sales in the market, definitely those should be done with either page level and it is also termed as functionality test. It means like whenever they are going for around 15 minutes test, 15 minutes of sale, definitely they are going to expect more and more users. So like if the sale is for like one day, definitely like you are going to buy in different time, I'm going to buy in different time. Suppose let's take Sai is going to buy the different time and Kiran, so we'll plan like okay fine, I'm going to buy it like around 10 o'clock, and Jaydeep will say like okay I'll be having like I'm going to plan that like around 11 o'clock. It completely depends. But when there is a search compulsion, a sort of only 15 minutes of sale in this sense, we all think like, okay, okay, within that 15 minutes, we are like, we should plan to grab that particular deal. So in such cases, there might be, it's not might be, definitely there will be more pressure and more stress on the payment functionality. So all the users will they'll just simply log into that particular application, and anyhow they will be adding what are all the deals they are planning to grab, and they will add it to cart and they will do the payment. If such functionality, I mean, sort of such page level testing is not planned or not done in the sense, definitely they are going to see the server breakdown. Okay, so that's the reason why we will be adding the page level stress. So all the users like will log in into that Amazon, and they will be adding what are all the products they are planning to buy, and they will add that to the product, and if they need it, they will use their credit cards and debit cards, whatever might be the payment, and then they will hit the payment page. So for that particular payment page, we are gonna to do the page level testing. It means anyhow here we are not gonna to add only so-called payment functionality. Here we will be simply adding one LR function in our script. Okay, it means okay, anyhow we already have. Suppose let's take
Only I have one question in this part.
yes,
So
yes,
page level and functional testing comes under UI performance testing. Is it
yes,
called? Is it
yes,
different?
yes, yes, yes. Either if you want, you can check only that particular API in another way, but you can also add that in the UI based scripting as well. Okay. So all users logged into Amazon. Okay. So they'll suppose let's take this is one of the transaction which is called launch, and this is login, and they are searching some products over here. They are adding it to cart, and suppose let's take this is payment and this is logout. Okay. So at this particular transaction, what they will do is like, suppose let's take we are around 10. So if you are going page level stress in the sense, it doesn't mean if Jaydeep is trying to log in the application in the very first second, it doesn't mean he can grab that particular payment page in the very first second. So no matter what, how many users are like traveling or playing around that particular application, even suppose let's take how many people we are. 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Suppose let's take Peter and myself logged in after 5 minutes. Okay. So if all the other 1K people all already entered into the application and they are at the payment page, even only if two other users, only if two other users are still in either 1, 2, 3rd or 4th transaction, the payment is not going to done here. That's the main logic here. So if we are adding any such functionality, if you are adding that any such particular so-called page level stress or functionality test, it is going to add all each and every user who are playing around the application. It means 1000 plus 2 users, 1002 users only after reaching this 5th transaction. Then only it is going to hit the server. That's why it is called page level stress or functionality test. You are simply checking that particular functionality only after reaching the entire load. Even if one or two users are like in mid of any transaction, it is not going to hit. So that's why it is called page level stress. It should wait for the last user to come and enter into that particular fifth transaction. So in this fifth transaction, what we are going to do in order to satisfy this page level stress is, we do have one LR function which starts with LR. So here in our LoadRunner, we will be having two functions. One is WEB, web functions, and other is LR functions. Whatever the functions that started with web, those are called web functions, and whatever you are seeing with LR underscore, those are LR functions, which is LoadRunner functions. So at the fifth point, what we are going to do is like, we will be adding something called LR rend users. Okay. So if you are adding any such LR rend users in the sense, so it means all the users, like whatever the ramp up and whatever the entire user count we provided there while designing the scenario, those users will come and wait here till the last user met them. So that's the main purpose of page level stress testing. Okay. I'll write its objective. Let me clear this. Okay, instead of this, I'll do that. Okay, the main purpose is, okay, objective. We will apply stress to particular page or either particular functionality only. Let's take its payment functionality page to check its behavior or to check particular functional FNCTI functionality behavior. How exactly that so-called particular functionality, so-called payment functionality is working or not. So how we are going to achieve that? So by using set VOUS, by using rend users point. So here we are going to simply apply one function called LR underscore rend users point. So that's the main purpose here. Okay, let me fill that with rend users point. And the duration and the load will be common. So duration for this is 1 hour as per the standard, and load is as expected, which is sorry. Sorry, someone is speaking.
No. I'm going to mute. Sorry.
Okay, fine. So that is page level stress testing. Okay, and when we talk about another test which is called spike test. So here what we are going to do is like, so we will suddenly increase the user count and we'll check how exactly the server is responding. Suppose let's take normal, suppose let's take the normal load itself. And suppose if we are applying the ramp up and define the load for 1 hour of duration, at one particular point, we will increase the load minimum of like around, it completely depends, either 25% of load. If we are adding that 25%, can we call it as abnormal situation? Is that fine to call it as abnormal situation? Guys, can we call it as abnormal situation whenever you are suddenly increasing the load in the mid of planned execution?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the purpose and objective of spike test is exactly in that abnormal situation, how your server is responding. So it is going to check the application behavior in that so-called abnormal situation. That's the purpose of spike test. Okay, so we can term its objective as to check the app behavior in its abnormal situation. In abnormal situations, so how we are doing that? By suddenly increasing the load. Okay, so how your server is responding exactly in the so-called abnormal situations. Okay, so here the duration will and the load, everything. Load in the sense we will be adding one particular spike. I'll add it over here. Control V. So sudden spike after certain duration. Okay, you no need to worry about listening these many tests. So like here I'm just defining like how many types of loads we will be having. So each and every test design scenario, like we can able to do that like in a very limited time. You no need to worry about that. It's just the way how you are adding the load and how you are designing your scenario. There is nothing much over here. Okay, that is spike. And the other will be like fail over. The name itself says there is something failed in our server. So here the main objective is like, suppose let's take we are having multiple servers. Whenever they are going with big billion sale, they will be like going ahead with minimum of backup. Okay, so in order to check the failover, definitely like we don't do whether it is failing or not. So here you should intentionally fail one server in the middle of execution. Suppose let's take you are having 3 servers. Okay, if one of the server failed in the middle of execution, suppose let's take we are having 300 user count, so which got splitted equally 100, 100 and 100. If one of the server failed in the middle of execution, how like this load will be managed by the remaining 2 other servers? That is the main intention over here. So it should take 150 and the third server should take 150 because of failure of the so-called second server. So here we are going to intentionally fail one of the server in the middle of execution, and then we are going to check how the load balancing is going to do. Okay, here intentionally we will be failing one server in the mid of execution and check how other servers are behaving. Okay, so here we will be splitting the load accordingly. And also we also have something called a capacity. So it is also called as volumetric as well. Volumetric. So most probably like we won't be involving in failover and the volumetric, and that is purely depends on the project requirement as per the load and things. So when we talk about the capacity testing here, like what they will be doing is like here they will be sending bulk of records to DB. Okay, so we can simply say like testing the app behavior, behavior and its response times by keeping different volumes of records in databases in DB as per the future estimations. Suppose if you are planning like in any application, if they are expecting more and more users, so what they will be doing is like they will be shifting bulk records to DB. as per the design scenario, and we'll check like how the app is behaving when more users are registering into that particular application, whether the DB is able to handle that or not. Okay, that is one. And we also have two more. One is baseline. So most of the people will get confused over here, and the other is benchmark. Okay, so like when we talk about the baseline, suppose let's take we are dealing with Amazon, and it is a pretty new application. Okay, so in that scenario, when it is a pretty new, whatever the values you are fetching from the server, whatever the values your execution is giving, so we can call it as baseline values, just a sort of reference values. Okay, whenever there is no such performance testing happened for that particular application, and whatever the values you are getting as a report, those values will be termed as baseline values. And that type of testing, whenever you are doing that for the first time, that is called baseline testing. Okay, when we perform perf testing for the very very first time. Okay, that is called baseline testing. So the duration and load will be common. Like duration, we will be going with 1 hour, and the load also we will be going with either defined load. Okay, but when we talk about the benchmark is nothing but standards. Okay, so we are gonna to test when we whenever we are planning to hit such industry standard values. Okay, so here we can define it as test when we want to go ahead with such industry standards. So I said in the previous session, no, so that I'll be sharing those industry standard values document as well. So when they created the final group, I will be sharing that as well. Okay. So these are the different types of performance testing we will be having. So even though we are having these many testings, most probably like we will be doing load, endurance, and stress. These are the most frequent and commonly used. 90% of performance testers will be 90 to 95% will be performing these three tests. So anyhow, we will be doing smoke test for each and every release and every run just to check the environment is ready to go or not. That is smoke, either it is called also sanity, and we will be termed it as load whenever we are hitting with defined load. If the client is already aware of that particular load, we can term it as defined load. Okay, we will be hitting with max load and we'll be checking the application behavior. And if you want to check the particular application for long hours, and if you want to identify so-called memory leak is happening in your application or not, that is called endurance test. And if you want to check the exact breakdown of that particular application, you should perform so-called stress test. Okay, by keep on gradually increasing the load. And if you want to check only one particular functionality, then here comes page level stressing. By using a point called rend users, by applying one LR function in front of the transaction point, we will be adding that function in our scripting as well. Okay, while performing that page level stress. And if you want to check exactly how your application is behaving during abnormal situations, exactly how your application is behaving, that is spike. Suppose in the mid of execution, if something is failing, how your load balancing is performing, that comes under failover. And as per the future expectations, if you want to go on test with a few bulk records of DB, that is volumetric, or also we can term it as capacity. And whenever you are performing the test for the very first time, no performance testing happened to that particular application ever before. If you are doing that for the first time, that is called baseline. Because you are doing that for the first time and you are taking those values as a reference, and will consider those responses as reference values for coming releases. That is baseline. And whenever you are checking and hitting the server as per the industry standards, that is benchmark. Okay, so I will create a simple table as well. So I'll share that, so that by just simply seeing the table, you can identify what is the test and what is the main objective of it.
So what is the
Okay.
industry in standards? You mentioned something in benchmark, right?
Yes, industry standards in the sense, suppose if you consider so-called e-commerce, so there will be the different value for a login. So it will be like it is going to accept 2 seconds for login, and for payment, as it is reaching the gateway, payment gateway, it will accept like 3 to 5 seconds. So in the same way, we will be having different standard values for each. For e-commerce, it will be different, and for banking, it will be different. For retail, it will be different. For so-called insurance, it will be different. So for each and every like a sort of domain, we will be having different values. Even for the login also, there will be a difference in the response times for each and every thing as per that particular domain.
So this is
Okay.
given by the stakeholder, right?
Sorry?
This is given by stakeholder.
Yes, like see, whenever like they don't have anything, so if they are asking us to hit as per the standard values, then our test will be benchmark testing. So for each and every run, like for each and every execution, we will not be getting these values from our client. So if the client is totally unaware of these performance testing, it like it doesn't mean each and every client should be aware of performance testing and its terminology, right? So being in that position, we should be taking care of all these things.
Means we are assuming that what is the standard value, 2 seconds,
Yes,
1 second.
exactly. Suppose let's take if they said like we don't have any values, so you can just compare the standard values and go ahead with that particular testing in the sense. So anyhow, we will be performing the load test by taking these benchmark testing values as the reference values. So if that is sort of e-commerce application, we will be taking any e-commerce application which is existing, and we will be taking those standard values, and we need to design our scenario as per that, and need to get the responses as per the industry values. Okay. So we will be taking those values as reference, because they don't have any like values with them. So they'll ask us, we don't have any idea. Just you can simply go and hit as per the, like we are expecting the standard values. They'll simply say like they are expecting the standard values.
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, one small question. For the
Yes,
failover
Subhani.
test, let's assume one server is down, so the load will equally be shared or
Equally shared. So
okay.
exactly, like they are gonna to configure. It is not gonna to do like simply adding the users, and like that configuration should be done from the backend. So they
Okay,
are gonna to add and check whether the load balancer is properly working in the backend or not.
understood. Okay,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Hi, Amulya.
Yes. Hi. Hi.
I have one question, not
Yes. Yes.
regarding this. Like
Uh-huh.
HP LoadRunner is a like a licensed tool, right?
Yes, it's a licensed tool, but
Yeah.
under community edition, you can able to play around 550 users.
Okay, like you are for our practice, you are going to use that community edition.
Community edition. Yes. Yes.
From where we can download that and
You can get that from now. Actually, it is not HP LoadRunner anymore. Now it is within the
my
open text hand. Open text. You can either
open
get
text.
that edition from the open text, or you can directly get that from the management as well. So they already have those installation files. So they will
Okay.
be sharing that drive with you.
Only is it free of cost, right? Installations.
Yes, yeah, everything is free. Like anyhow,
And
we are not touching the licensed version, no. So till 50 users, there is of no cost.
you are going to helping in that installation
Installation,
process
yes,
also.
yes. In the next
Oh,
session only, we are going to start the installation. Sorry, I forgot to add that. So I just need anyone of you people to share your screen in the next session. So please be handy with your laptop and also the installation file. So get that installation file from the management so that if you are sharing your screen, then I can help you with the installation so that the others
Uh,
can able to do that installation.
okay. What is the hardware requirement for that?
I'll share all those details accordingly, Sai. So for that, anyhow, recommended is like 8 GB. If we have a RAM of 8 GB, that will be fine. But it can also able to allow if the RAM is 4 GB. But you will be expecting some sort of hanging and freezing mode in between. So I will share the requirements as well. Okay.
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 It will
Yeah,
run
yeah,
on
fine,
Mac
fine.
or it is
Yes,
only
yes.
for
It is.
Windows?
It will be applicable for Mac and Windows for both.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have
Any.
checked in internet. It is not applicable for Mac like that.
No, no. It will be applicable for both Mac and also for Windows.
Okay.
Amulya,
Thank you,
I have
ma'am.
a question.
Yes, Asma. Go ahead.
In endurance, you said we have to take load like
Average load
25%, and
25% as per the standard. Yeah.
as per the standard, our load already we took like 1,000. Should we
Mm-hmm.
add 25% or we should do only 25?
It's actually, as said, actually the standard will be like 25 to 50%. But if the project demands us to go with the like expected and normal load for longer duration, then definitely you should add those 1,000 users in your 8 hours of duration.
Okay, every hour we should add only
No,
for
no,
8.
no, 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 no. It's simply like you need to define the scenario like all the users should be up and those should be run for 8 hours of duration. It's not gradually increasing. If you are gradually increasing, that doesn't mean like endurance, right?
Yeah, it will go for spike.
Yes, yes, either spike or stress. If you are gradually increasing in the sense that means you are stressing your server. But this is not stressing. If you are checking for endurance, then you should add all the load and you need to run for longer duration. That's the main objective.
Oh, okay, Amulya. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. Guys, as said in the beginning, like management is unable to find few people mobile numbers. So if you are available, please share your mobile numbers in the chat itself so that I can take a snap and share it with the team. So that will be very useful. So they said like they are looking for Jaydeep and Zelilam and Peter and Sai Charan, Sai Kumar, Vinil, and the other Veena. I said like they said like they found Veena's number. So it will be very fine. Yeah, helpful. Thank you. So please try to share your mobile numbers, guys, in another 1 minute. And sorry, today's class extended to 10 more minutes. So most probably I'll try to finish and start the time within our timelines. Okay, sorry for the delay. Okay, thanks, Subhani.
No, no
Thanks,
problem,
Sharon.
Amelia. Appreciate your
Yeah,
effort. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And after sharing your numbers, please feel free to drop off. Okay, fine. Thanks for your time, guys. And don't forget to drop your mobile numbers. I'm gonna to share that with the team right away so that you'll be getting all the details and they will be adding your numbers into final group.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shared.
Thank you. Piyush, I think you're already done with your payment, right? So did you get a chance to connect with the team and get the installation file?
No, they said the same thing that they will share within Monday
Okay.
only
Ha ha ha.
after
Okay.
finalizing the batch.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Mm-hmm. Because they will be maintaining that, no? So that's the reason they'll ask you to wait.
Anyhow, I have already in my
Oh,
loader in
okay.
my system.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. That's fine.
So
Thank you.
actually, I am using 2022 version.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we need to check the compatibility as well. So sometimes we will
How?
fail to record the script. So in that situation, the one and only option is like we will be relying on so-called fiddler. So I'll be helping you on that part in the next sessions. Okay, you don't need to worry about that.
Now I am actually why I joined this course. Amulya, my main thing is that I am actually planning to switch the company. So just I am
Oh,
studying
okay.
in the interview calls. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
please
fine.
help me on that
Yeah, yeah,
only.
sure. I'm going to help you with the interview-based and scenario-based questions as well, so that you'll
Uh,
feel more confident while attending the interviews. You no need to worry about that part. Yep.
yeah,
And Jaideep, if possible, can you share your mobile number, please? Because they also mentioned the Jaideep numbers as well. We have Basubani, what Rajeshwari. Okay, fine. Yep, I'll stop recording. Thank you, guys.
Can I drop